Patriots, short-lived. He suffered a season-ending hip injury, unfortunately. Butler was the hero of New England's Super Bowl 49 victory over the Seahawks with a game-winning pick. Then, of course, he was also benched in the Pats' Super Bowl 52 loss to the Eagles. Such big swings here. Shannon, what will you remember most about Butler's career?
He made the greatest defensive play in history of the NFL. Given the moment, given the magnitude of the moment, it changed how we view Russell. It changed Tom Brady. At that point in time, Skip, Tom Brady had lost his last 2 Super Bowls. And there was serious doubts whether he could not only get back, but could he win another? But he had gotten back, and it looked like he was on the verge of losing it. So that would have been 3 straight. You won 3 straight and was about to lose 3 straight. And some for strange reason, Kyle Arrington was struggling. Coach Bell, did he do it? What was the circumstances in which he did it under? He did that. Skip, I get it. And a lot of people are like, well, he should have played against Philly. I just think Coach Belichick was very overconfident. I think they were very overconfident. Coach Belichick checking out a basketball game in Minnesota. We had never seen Coach Belichick out. Super Bowl week. I've never, maybe, I'm not saying, Skip, he didn't go to dinner or things like that. But in a public setting, in a basketball game or a hockey game or something like that that was going on in the city in which he was playing the Super Bowl, we had never seen, or I had, maybe there's some footage of somewhere, someone can find it. But I just felt they were overconfident. And they felt they could beat the Eagles without Malcolm Butler. Except, come on, man, that's part of the genius. I insert an undrafted rookie, get it done. Man, that's the genius of Coach Belichick. And the genius didn't work that time. So that's how I'm going to remember Malcolm Butler. He made the greatest defensive play in NFL history.
I will certainly give you that. Where we have parted ways before is you have condemned Pete Carroll and was it Darrell Bevell? Yeah, as the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
For putting the ball in Russ's hands instead of in Beast Mode's hands on that fateful play.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I do want to point out, for historical sake, that during that regular season, Marshawn Lynch had carried the ball 5 times from the 1-yard line and failed to get it in the end zone 4 of the 5 times. So maybe they were basing it more on analytics.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay. Well, did they want Russ to rise and shine as the MVP and the face of the franchise? I'm sure there was some of that operating.
Right.
But they thought Russ was magic. They thought the ball should be in Russ's hands, and that they liked the play to that bigger receiver, Ricardo Lockett, down on the goal line where he could shield somebody off, wall them off, and catch a little short pop pass for a touchdown.
Right.
And it all went right to form, except for that little rookie from West Alabama who shot up the way he'd been taught to in practice.
Right.
And just snatched it right out of Ricardo Lockett's hands, right?
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is that you have to understand, if you look at it, Brandon Browner is impressed. Now, he's going to make it very, very hard for your inside receiver to get the pick. So he wasn't able to get the pick on Malcolm. So Malcolm just shot the gap.
He did.
That's the thing. If you don't make him bubble, this is what's going to happen. And so Russ, being Russ, maybe Russ now looks at that and says, nah, I'm going to try to, you're right.
Or I'll run it. Let him run it. Yeah, right? Okay. But in the end, when all is said and done, I don't know, 10 years from now, when I look back, I'm going to remember the second Super Bowl. Well, I just will, because it was never explained. His absence from that game was never explained, and it remains highly suspicious to me. And I used the word the day after the game. Sabotagey. It felt sabotagey to me. It felt like Belichick was trying to polish his genius image.
Right.
And say, well, I'm going to sit him down because he's the player who played the most snaps on my defense during the regular season.
Yes.
I'm going to sit him for whatever reason it was. I don't know if it's some discipline. Nobody could account for any disciplinary action that should have been taken.
Right.
Like he didn't step out of bounds during the week that anybody knew about.
Right.
I don't know.
Didn't blow off curfew.
Nope.
For whatever reason, Skip, Coach Belichick felt that we could win this game without Malcolm Butler.
Okay.
You believe Malcolm Butler would have played a significant role in them winning?
Well, I would have, because right before your very eyes, the Philadelphia Eagles, featuring their backup quarterback, scored 41 points on Belichick's defense. Yeah. And Nick Foles, of all quarterbacks, was the Super Bowl MVP against Bill Belichick. How did that happen? Well, you have one X factor who's crying standing on the sideline because he can't figure out why he's not getting in the game.
Right. I think the thing is skipping the game, but that momentum is huge. And I think the Patriots, they were overconfident as a team.
I give you that.
They felt they were much, much better than the Philadelphia Eagles. And so before you know it, Skip, you're in a ball game, kind of like what happened with us in Green Bay. Green Bay were the defending champs. They had a streak of like 13-14. The NFC had dominated the AFC. They come into the game, Brett Favre, the MVP. They're like, oh, we finna run roughshod over y'all.
Yep.
Well, all of a sudden, you're in a nip-tuck ball game, and before you realize that you got a fight on your hand, it's too late. The other team, like, we're not going anywhere. We got you. And that's what happened with the Eagles. They got more and more confident, more and more confident. And when the people like, we're not going anywhere. We got you. And that's what happened with the Eagles. They got more and more confident, more and more confident. And when the Patriots couldn't break away, because remember, they went for it a couple times on fourth down, trying to establish themselves like, okay, we get a touchdown out of this, and they turn it over on down, and the Eagles like, yeah, we got a ball game. Let's just get to the fourth quarter, and they can't run and hide.
Okay, I will give you this. The Eagles coaches said after the game they were infuriated before the game by Patriot coaches congratulating them for getting to the Super Bowl, right?
Congrats on a great season.
Yeah, congrats.
The season ain't over. We got another game to play, bro.
Yeah, against you guys, right here, right now.
Yeah.
And I think they took that right into the pregame locker room.
That's disrespectful, Skip.
Okay, I got it. Now, to defend Tom Brady, remember, in the fourth quarter of the Seattle Super Bowl, he threw for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had lost his previous 2, but he did everything in his power to win that game.
Right.
And then he benefited. Obviously, he's jumping up and down like a little kid off Malcolm Butler.
But the thing was, Skip, at that point in time, the game is out of his hands. There's really nothing else he can do now. You're right.
In your game of football, there's this unit and there's that unit.
Exactly.
And there's no crossover.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, in the second Super Bowl, the one against Philadelphia, in question, Tom Brady throws for a Super Bowl record, not Super Bowl, the NFL playoff record, 505 that still stands, and did put up 33 points on a top 5 defense. And he's got an L to show for it.
Right.
Well, when his career is said and done, he's going to look back on the Malcolm Butler decision as the worst decision that he ever had to try to overcome in his Super Bowl history.
Well, you're disappointed anytime you lose, especially a game of this magnitude. But I think Tom Brady he'll let you take 2 Super Bowl wins if you just give him that first one against the Giants.
Okay.
Just give you, and he said it. You know what? When I had him on the thing, I said, would you really be willing to give up 2 Super Bowl? He said, absolutely. Because he knows, Skip, 19-0, you're the greatest of all time. There's no doubt. And that record probably will never be broken.
I got it. But don't you think Tom will go to his grave thinking that Belichick cost him the Philly Super Bowl? Yes, he will. He will.
Maybe.
He will.
But I'm saying,
Malcolm Butler changes. He tilts the playing field.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that he says, you know what? He gave me one with putting Malcolm Butler in there. He cost me one. So we even. Even.